What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of the Celebrity Junk. Cam Newton recently sat down with Shaquille O'Neal on an episode of The Big Pod with Shaq. All of these guys got podcasts now. Thankfully, they're all talking about sports and at the black community like me, so I'll be able to have somewhat of a job. And we all seen the footage of Cam Newton on the 7-on-7 football camp. It was quite sad and egregious. I've heard multiple sides of the story. One of the sides of the story says that the young men were being taunted by Cam Newton, and it was Cam Newton's event, and he grabbed the guy first, and so the brother of the man tried attacking Cam. Obviously, it didn't work. Cam is a huge guy, 6'5" and 250, something like that. So anyways, in this new interview, Cam Newton was asked about why are these kids so disrespectful? Okay, why is it this way? Well, I'm gonna let Cam Newton discuss it, and we're gonna come back.
It's probably like our 6th or 7th time meeting.
Yes, sir.
You've always been very hospitable to me. We know mutual people, and they all say you're a nice guy. I want to ask you this question. Why, when I look at clips of you at your little football camps, kids feel they could talk to you any type of way?
It's the access. Access. Like when you, and just to give you context, right? So anybody who knows me know I'm a product of my environment. Born and raised in Atlanta, Georgia.
So he says these kids are trying to go viral. Shaq said, hey, he had to kick somebody out of his camp too. But Cam, we're going to be honest here. Why is it that Cam Newton and Shaquille O'Neal are successful athletes? Well, we can point to two reasons, or the same reason for both men. Both of these men had a father or stepfather in their life, okay? That's why. Even Cam had some problems, got kicked out of Florida, things like that. But, you know, the dad was there to keep him in check. The problem is too many guys coming from homes with no mother and father. And now we have the problems that we have today. And I'm going to tell you how I've noticed this, guys. You know, I'm living over here in Uganda, right? I'm living here, been here almost, it's going on 2 years straight. I've lived here, been working here in the business. And I want to talk about something that I have noticed, if I can. Uganda is quite, if we can say it from the World Bank terminology or IMF terminology, it is what you would consider a developing country. You may call it third world. Others may call it a poor country. And of course, you cannot get around it once you come to this city. But I can tell you what I'm never afraid of and what has never happened to me on the streets. Some young group of kids disrespecting me. And I'm an old guy now. I'm 42. So I'm really old here because everybody's young. I never have experienced that from young men, especially if I'm doing something that's trying to help them. I was talking to Brother Afro Think Tank on a live stream, my brother in arms in the Pan-African struggle. He's from Washington, D.C. He's now Nigeria. He might be going back home soon. But he said, you know, in D.C., when I walk down the street and there are 4 kids, 4 young men, I automatically want to cross the street out of fear. He says, but now if the same thing were to happen in Nigeria, I know I can greet these young men. There's not going to be any disrespect towards me. And hello, sir, how you doing? They respect elders. The reason why they respect elders is because those men are there. You can say those men are poor. You can say those men are this or that. But those men teach their children how to respect people, especially people who are trying to help you. But in Black America, because of the lack of fatherhood, we don't see that. And it stopped so many black men. I remember when I was coming up in the 90s and 80s, when it's, you know, disrespect is not, you know, uncommon in Black America, but it was a time where black men still wanted to be more involved in sports. Teaching kids how to box, teaching kids how to play football, basketball. We had plenty of black coaches in Little League Baseball, Pop Warner football. That was something that was certain, you know, and we respected those coaches in the community. You'd always have some idiot that didn't, but we did. But now guys don't even want to waste their time. You know, mother's unruly, father's unruly at games, referees being assaulted, and the kids have been demoralized, some of them who act this way, by their own parents. And it all goes back to no men, no rules, do whatever you want. And unfortunately, as men, we understand this. And of course, people could say they want anarchy, but you know, you can't get far in life without rules. Rules are necessary to have in life. It's important to have those rules. You can try to get around not having rules if you want, but you need them there. Rules are a must for development. And when you don't have those rules, you suffer. Everybody suffers, okay? And these kids, nobody's ever taught them besides their mama, you gotta respect people for the most part. They may say they said that, but they actions sure in the hell don't say it. Because my dad, when I was there, all he had to do was tell me, listen, I'm taking your ass to school. All I need is for somebody to call me and say that your ass did X, Y, and Z at the school. I'm going to F you up when I get home. So all they got, cause I know you did it. They ain't even gotta call me and I ain't gotta ask you. I know you did it. With you smart mouth mother. So I already know. He said, I already know that you're guilty when they call me. So let them call me. Don't let them call me. And so teachers back in the day were like, yeah, you want to talk out of turn? I'm gonna call your daddy. They ain't gotta touch you. I'm gonna call your daddy. That was enough for me. And most kids in the black community, if your dad was there or a granddad was there, all they do is say, I'm gonna tell your daddy. That was enough. Want to get somebody to act right? Put their daddy on them. But now, call my daddy. What you mean call him? I ain't met him my damn self. F you and him. You see? And then we want to always continue to go ahead on and support, you know, women's rights over that of men. And don't get me wrong, women should be supported, but we're doing women a disservice by just putting it all on them as the ultimate leader of the household when these women can't do nothing with these young men when they get a certain age. They can't help them. They're doing the best they can probably try to do with what they have, but they can't help them. Once the guy gets 12, 13, 14, what can your mama do with you? Nothing. Can't do nothing with you. And we always wanting to, you know, in any kind of way that we want, basically to say, you know what, you know, we're going to go ahead on and support these women and the black women in the community doing a great job. And okay, well, however you want to talk about it. But when you don't have the men there, the only person that these kids typically listen to is to their mother. That's it. And the kids go out there doing any goddamn thing they want. Anything that they want. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy, Drew Jackson. Back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. Producer Fire, use Kirby Bell. We're out.